Paul Heyman's favor to CM Punk, the Bloodline gets a new leader in Solo Sikoa's absence, Nia Jax from SmackDown due to Charlotte Flair's return, backstage update on Randy Orton's return, update on AJ Styles' WWE Future, Jey Uso needs to go up against Penta, Liv Morgan to never win another world title in WWE, Solo Sikoa is Roman Reigns' greatest challenger. Let's dive right in. The Bloodline gets a new leader in Solo Sikoa's absence. This week's WWE Smackdown will be interesting to watch, especially after Solo Sikoa walked out on last week's Blue brand. Additionally, it will be the final show for the Stamford-based promotion before their January Saturday night's main event special. Let's discuss 5 things rumored to take place on SmackDown this week. Number 1. Nick Aldis might threaten Kevin Owens for SNME. At Saturday night's main event, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes are set for a major segment, along with Shawn Michaels. Both stars will relinquish their championships to be hung above the ring for their ladder match at Royal Rumble 2025. Michaels replaced Nick to assure both stars that everything would be neutral and unbiased. Meanwhile, the SmackDown general manager might threaten the prizefighter on the show, warning him that he could be fired if he tries to get HBK at SNME. We have previously seen KO attack officials and authority figures. This warning could remind him to be ready to face the consequences at the highest level if he does something wrong at this special event. Number 2. A new Bloodline leader could be established in Solo Sikoa's absence. On last week's SmackDown, Solo Sikoa made his way to the ring for the first time since losing the Ula Fala, but soon decided to walk out without saying a word. This did not sit well with Jacob Fatu on last week's show. In this week's episode, fans might witness the unexpected return of Rikishi. The real-life Bloodline member could return as a villainous star and eventually take over the new Bloodline in Solo's absence. Fans have long wanted the Hall of Famer included in the Bloodline saga, and the current situation seems to be a perfect opportunity for this. Meanwhile, it's important to note that nothing has been reported yet regarding Rikishi's comeback, and it remains mere speculation. Number 3. Jey Uso could make a heartbreaking announcement. Jey Uso tried to establish himself as a singles star on last week's SmackDown by deciding to beat Carmelo Hayes to prove himself. However, the Samoan twin was destroyed by the new Bloodline members at the end of the match. On SmackDown, it's probable that Jey Uso could make an appearance, but might deliver heartbreaking news. The OG Bloodline member could announce his departure from television again after last week's Bloodline attack and eventually confirm that he will miss Royal Rumble 2025. This scenario makes complete sense considering the attack by Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga on last week's show. Number 4. Jade Cargill might finally make her comeback, and Naomi relinquishes the title. According to recent reports, Jade Cargill is expected to return to the Performance Center soon, hinting that her comeback on SmackDown is near. This increases the chances that fans might see Cargill's return this Friday. Naomi could be forced to relinquish her WWE Women's Tag Team Championship and hand it over to Jade if this scenario happens. The rationale is that Naomi has been holding the title as a replacement for Cargill, as the EST and the former AEW star were the original champions. Number 5. Uncle Howdy might finally arrive on SmackDown and haunt Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is set to clash with Jacob Fatu at Saturday night's main event. However, on Friday's SmackDown, the monster among monsters might be haunted by Uncle Howdy and Wyatt Six if they arrive on Friday night. WWE has already confirmed that the horror faction has moved to the Blue brand as part of the transfer window. However, they have yet to be introduced on the Blue brand. Given Braun Strowman's close link with Wyatt Six and Howdy due to the late Great Bray Wyatt, it wouldn't be surprising if WWE plans to engage them in a segment. The Masked Man could haunt the former Universal Champion, setting the stage for a feud post-SNME. Nia Jax from SmackDown due to Charlotte Flair's return. Since taking over as the Chief Content Officer, Triple H has impressed the WWE Universe. As the Stamford-based promotion heads towards Royal Rumble 2025, fans are foreseeing surprise returns. One name whose return seems imminent is Charlotte Flair. During last week's episode of SmackDown, WWE aired a promo for the Queen, hinting that she could return at any moment. However, Triple H may have removed 4-time WWE champion Nia Jax from SmackDown to prepare for Flair's upcoming return. Nia Jax was the WWE Women's Champion, but lost the title to Tiffany Stratton. The buff Barbie betrayed her friend and cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase to become the new champion. Many believe Jax would now feud with Stratton to seek vengeance for the betrayal. However, nothing of the sort has happened, and Tiffany has since moved in a completely different direction. Additionally, neither star has engaged in a segment since the Money in the Bank cash-in. This has led to speculation that Charlotte Flair might be set to feud with Stratton upon her return. This could explain why WWE has avoided continuing the storyline between Nia Jax and Tiffany following the title change. Another surprising development is that Nia Jax has become more involved on Monday Night Raw rather than SmackDown. This subtly confirms that the irresistible force could be shifted to the red brand as part of the transfer window. Triple H seems to want to keep Stratton and Jax separated for now, so he might have placed Nia on Raw. This allows Triple H to postpone the potential feud. With Charlotte Flair's imminent return, she might challenge Stratton directly for the title upon her comeback. Charlotte Flair's return promo aired last week on SmackDown. The timing was intriguing, as it was shown just before Tiffany Stratton's entrance. The buff Barbie was set to face Naomi in the main event, and the strategic placement of the vignette caught the attention of many fans. Many believe Flair will challenge Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship upon returning under Triple H's regime. Backstage update on Randy Orton's return. The WWE Universe is days away from witnessing the 2025 Royal Rumble go down, but there's still no word on Randy Orton. The Viper hasn't been seen since Kevin Owens put him out with a package piledriver on SmackDown in November 2024. On a recent episode of Live Q&A on Backstage Pass, WrestleVotes was asked if Randy Orton could interfere during the Cody Rhodes vs. Kevin Owens match before appearing at the Royal Rumble. I don't know if both, but I would certainly say with the way the injury angle went down, Orton has to come back for Kevin Owens. He can't just enter the Rumble as a surprise and forget about everything. So I'd say if he's in Indianapolis for the pay-per-view, likely look for him during that ladder match. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens will make their ladder match official at Saturday night's main event 2025. WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels will mediate the contract signing this Saturday. Fans can expect some physicality angle to go down as Rhodes and Owens put pen to paper. As for Randy Orton, it remains to be seen if the Viper pops up this Saturday or the next. Update on AJ Styles' WWE Future. WWE Universe continues to patiently wait for the return of AJ Styles. Widely viewed as one of the greatest wrestlers alive, he is preparing for his return, and sources have provided a status update amid interesting new AEW speculation. The Phenomenal One has not wrestled since losing to Carmelo Hayes via referee's decision on the October 4th edition of SmackDown. Styles suffered a complex injury during that match, known as a Lisfranc fracture. The 47-year-old was no longer using crutches, cast, or boot when he visited TNA Final Resolution near his home in Atlanta on December 13th and was not limping, but word then was that AJ told people he still had not reached 100%. Speculation about Styles potentially joining AEW has continued, and the rumors have picked up due to Will Ospreay's increased use of Styles Clash and the reactions he's received. In response to questions about AJ entering free agency or joining Tony Khan, Fightful Select notes that Styles has always seemed happy in WWE and went into his last two contracts planning that these would be the last he ever signed. WWE may now be extending AJ's current contract, according to sources. Recent talk of adding time to the deal to compensate for injury time. There was a widespread belief among many in the industry, and some close to AJ himself, that his contract would expire at the end of 2024 or early this year. Styles mainly made his name in TNA and NJPW, and the Final Resolution visit fueled rumors of a potential return to the Nashville-based promotion. WWE sent AJ to defeat Naomichi Marufuji for Pro Wrestling Noah in July, which led to speculation that the multi-time world champion could return to work in the land of the rising sun. AJ Styles has been on the shelf since suffering a complex foot injury during his October 4th SmackDown match with Carmelo Hayes. AJ went down, which led to the referee stopping the bout and naming Hayes the winner. The initial report from Fightful Select was that the Phenomenal One's injury was planned, and that he was just fine backstage. However, the injury was then reported as legitimate, with Styles and backstage sources adamant that this was not work. A later update noted that people, including his friends, staff, writers, and others, were told the injury was real. Fightful Select added that if the injury was a work, it was one of the most protected injury angles in recent memory. AJ's last promo on SmackDown before the Hayes match was produced by Robert Roode, who also produced the Styles vs. Hayes match. The creative writer who worked on the promo was Chad Barbash. Jey Uso needs to go up against Penta. Jey Uso is currently one of the most popular stars in the WWE active scene. According to wrestling veteran and legendary journalist Bill Apter, Jey should be going up against the newcomer to the roster, Penta. The Yeet Man has certainly captured the attention of fans worldwide with his high-energy presentation and incredible athleticism. However, many believe he is still being held back due to his lack of meaningful feuds as the primary character. When talking about possible future opponents for him, Bill Apter brought up Penta. Speaking on Sportskeeda's Unscripted, the veteran journalist said, "You know who I would like to him against? And this is totally something that you would go like no to because, again, this is babyface versus babyface. Then again, if they heated up some sort of an angle where Penta and Jey Uso, the Yeet Man, I think would be a very compelling match. I don't know how they will bring it to us, but in terms of marketing and colorful, I think it has the making of a great event. As of now, it remains to be seen what is next for Jey Uso in the coming weeks." Liv Morgan to never win another world title in WWE. The Judgment Day's Liv Morgan was the women's world champion for several months before losing it to Rhea Ripley on Raw's Netflix premiere. Now, the star has pivoted her focus on the Judgment Day and the potential dissension within the group. As of now, Morgan has been firmly entrapped in the affairs of the Judgment Day and her romance with Dominic Mysterio. Despite this, she will likely look to regain the women's title as soon as possible. However, it may not be as easy as it seems. The main event scene in the women's division is more stacked than ever. Major names like Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Jade Cargill are currently absent from the Stamford-based promotion. However, the division still has considerable main event stars such as Nia Jax, Bayley, Bianca Belair, and Sky. Given the talent pool on Raw at this point, Triple H could very well refrain from giving the Judgment Day member another world title run. Liv Morgan has indeed showcased immense talent when it comes to her run on the main roster. She has been in the thick of things in terms of the main event scenario for a while now and has invariably performed at the highest level. However, one might bring up the assertion that stars such as Asuka, Julia, and Lyra Valkyria are ahead of Morgan in terms of Raw talent. Triple H has in some ways prioritized wrestling acumen and prowess during his reign as Chief Content Officer. This might be on display once again as Morgan falls down in the pecking order. The women's division isn't centered around the women's world title anymore. Two new titles have been introduced in WWE, the Women's Intercontinental title and the Women's United States Championship. Both titles could be targeted by Liv Morgan. Raw superstar Morgan could go after Lyra Valkyria, who newly became the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion. The former women's champion is a heel while Valkyria is a babyface. This constructs a perfect first feud for Valkyria, while Morgan turns her focus away from the women's world title. Solo Sikoa is Roman Reigns' greatest challenger. Paul Heyman recently made a bold claim about a top star and Roman Reigns. As per the WWE Hall of Famer, the Bloodline's leader, Solo Sikoa, is the greatest challenger the OTC has ever faced. Over the years, Reigns has faced some of the biggest names in the business. When one talks about his greatest rivals, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, and Cody Rhodes immediately come to mind. In a new interview with Screen Rant, Paul Heyman made an interesting comment about Reigns' greatest challenger. He believes that accolade goes to Solo Sikoa, and Solo, who was a mute before WrestleMania, takes the mic in his own hands and has become the greatest challenger that Roman Reigns has ever faced, to the point where Solo comes out wearing the Ula Fala and declares himself the tribal chief, and people are angry at him because they know that he has a valid claim to being so. Who would have ever imagined that? That's all under the creative direction and the content coordination by Paul Levesque, he said. Roman Reigns made his blockbuster return at last year's SummerSlam event and helped Cody Rhodes defeat Solo in the main event. Months later, the OTC's team defeated Solo Sikoa's Bloodline in a men's War Games match at Survivor Series, War Games 2024. Reigns then defeated Sikoa on Raw's debut on Netflix and took back the Ula Fala. Solo has been one of WWE's top stars for a while now, but many fans would disagree with Heyman about the Bloodline leader being called Reigns' greatest challenger. Now that Reigns has finished his feud with Solo, it remains to be seen what's next for him on the road to WrestleMania 41. Fans expect Triple H to put him in the main event of the show of shows this year as well. Paul Heyman's favor to CM Punk. At WWE Royal Rumble 2025, CM Punk will enter the Men's Rumble match with the sole intention of winning. During this week's Raw, the Best in the World hyped his entry by stating how he would eliminate everyone and claim victory. In this promo segment, he also mentioned Roman Reigns, John Cena, and other confirmed entrants, claiming they stood no chance against him. Additionally, the Second City Saint referenced the favor Paul Heyman owes him and subtly suggested he could call it in at Royal Rumble 2025 if needed. Many fans believe this favor could involve Paul Heyman joining forces with Punk to leave Roman Reigns' side. However, it's also possible that the voice of the voiceless could leverage this favor in a more strategic way by demanding the final spot in the iconic bout. Entering at number 30 significantly increases the chances of winning the Royal Rumble match. When a star enters this spot, they are completely fresh and energized, unlike the other competitors who have already worn each other down. Therefore, it's possible that Punk could redeem his favor by asking Paul Heyman to secure him the final spot in the Rumble match. fans have previously seen how the Wiseman has done many things for Roman Reigns by dealing with general managers and authority figures. Therefore, it wouldn't be a surprise if the special counsel could grant CM Punk the final spot in the Men's Royal Rumble match to repay the favor. Meanwhile, it's important to note that Roman Reigns is also set to enter the 30-man Men's Royal Rumble match. Despite not betraying Reigns directly, securing the final spot for CM Punk could ultimately work against the Tribal Chief's chances of winning. Furthermore, when this information is revealed, Paul Heyman might find himself in hot water with the original Tribal Chief. Before Raw aired on Netflix on January 6, 2025, WWE aired a Netflix kickoff panel in mid-December. Even CM Punk made an appearance, and when asked about Paul Heyman's favor, the best in the world gave a witty reply. The Second City Saint revealed while laughing that he needed the Wiseman's Netflix password to finish watching Heels Season 2. "I need Paul Heyman's Netflix password," laughs, "so I need to finish Heels Season 2, Punk said.